Next, we have Russell Wilson traded from your beloved Seahawks to Denver. Like you were talking about last year, Denver's offense was horrible, and they threw very little touchdowns, and they had very little production. So, what do you expect from this offense now? Like, does Russell Wilson make Jerry Jeudy better at football?
Well, I'll. This one actually goes into the last one kind of well because we talked about TD percentage and efficient offenses, like you just said,
Yeah.
and quarterbacks are the ones that basically make your offense more efficient because they're the ones that are throwing touchdowns more commonly per attempt. Like the good ones are the ones that make your offense really good. And Russell Wilson is clearly one of those. I posted his career TD percentage and compared it
What
to
is
like 6 point. Here, I'll pull it up. But I posted it on Twitter and I said, yeah, this is like way higher than what the Broncos quarterbacks have been. Obviously,
6 point anything is really good.
Yeah, and then it's the third highest apparently. It's
They've always been a efficient offense.
6.21% career touchdown percentage.
Damn, that's really good. Nice.
And that's career, so that's pretty good.
Right.
And then so then guys like Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy, like you and I have been saying, they aren't actually going to get better at football typically. Usually,
I think
they could like year 1 to 2, year 2 to 3 is where you typically see like wide receivers do the most improvement, like in terms of like their peripherals and stuff like that. But one thing that Russell Wilson will do, even like because Jerry Jeudy has been good, not great, and then last year was hard because he had the high ankle sprain and then came back, but he was still someone who posted like CD Lamb type target share numbers, type peripherals, where he's good. He's a good receiver. He's just not that upper echelon. But something that Russell Wilson can do that Drew Lock and Teddy Bridgewater can't is take you from getting 0% touchdowns on your targets, like literally 0%, and his first year with those other Bronco quarterbacks, 2.6%, and even guys like Cortland Sutton, 2.04%. Like they just aren't getting lucky in a way because touchdowns can be whatever, but it's just not an efficient offense. So what Russell Wilson does is he can take you from someone who, say, take 2 of the exact same years. Let's take Jerry Jeudy or Cortland Sutton last year. Let's say he finished like wide receiver 4 probably-ish range.
4 or 5. It was bad. It was not great.
Yeah.
He finished with like 9 points per game. It wasn't great.
Yeah, I think, let's see here. Yeah, 8.7 points per game. So he's probably in that range. But he's someone who could put up the exact same like peripherals. And when I say peripherals, I'm talking like target share, yards per route run, Whopper, like those things. He could do the exact same thing he did. And Russell Wilson takes him from like a wide receiver 4 to a fringe wide receiver 2. And that's saying he puts up the exact year. It's just because the touchdown percent.
Right. I think something to like keep in mind for Jeudy, Sutton, a little bit of Patrick, but not really Patrick because he doesn't really fit in this. That their lack of production in season last year is partly their fault, I would think, because it's partly to the fault of their quarterbacks and their offense being bad, but it's also on the wide receiver they are also not producing, and so. One of the best things to look at for our receivers is production, and so those guys simply weren't very productive last year. So I don't think that Russell Wilson is just going to come in and save them and make them very productive, but I think he can make them decently productive, more so than they were last year for sure.
Yeah, I think the point that you and me are trying to hit home with what quarterbacks do to offenses are that wide receivers are themselves. Wide receivers are going to do what their talent level, basically who they are. The quarterback can takes that player and it makes your production worse than the peripherals are, or it makes your production boosted from where your peripherals are. So like what we were talking about with Cortland Sutton, like Cortland Sutton's not going to be this like magical wide receiver 1 now because Russell Wilson's in his offense. No, Cortland Sutton's going to be Cortland Sutton, but he's going to catch more touchdowns. He's going to have more opportunity to catch more passes, I'm assuming, because
the offense is going to move the
ball more. And the offense as a whole gets better. So quarterbacks just they either boost the talent or they decrease it in terms of production. Comparing that, but they don't change who a wide receiver is.
Yeah. Quarterbacks elevate wide receivers; they don't make them.
Exactly. I think the way it was DK Metcalf and Cortland Sutton were getting compared, and Tyler Lockett and Jerry Judy.
That was
Well,
awful.
that's the problem is that DK Metcalf has early career Julio
Many.
Jones peripherals,
And
and he got
Cortland
boosted
Sutton is
by
like Gallup.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
And then Tyler Lockett is criminally undervalued.
Mm-hmm.
People are saying that Jerry Judy is better when Tyler Lockett's been productive for so long and Jerry Judy hasn't been that productive. That's just people getting blinded by what they thought of Judy as a prospect. Like, I get the excuses for Jerry Judy, and I'm not saying they're invalid, but Russell Wilson being there isn't going to make Jerry Judy into Tyler Lockett, and it's not going to make Cortland Sutton into DK Metcalf.
Yeah, if Tyler Lockett or DK Metcalf went to Denver with
They would
Russell
dominate.
Wilson, they would probably both of them would lead the league or lead the team in targets.
I would definitely put money on that.